Welcome back to the R&D garage here at Vintage Air. I'm Billy. Today we're going to be taking apart this 1977 F-150 to show you how to put in the condenser kit. So let's get some tools and get after it. Alright guys, first off we're going to start off by taking our grill inserts out. This will give us space to work with getting our condenser out. Remove these brackets, and if you have a trans cooler, we're going to have to remove that too. So let's get into it. Cool, now that we got some of this stuff out of our way, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect our lines to our dryer and to our condenser, and then we'll remove the brackets and pull the whole condenser out of our way. All right guys, now that we went ahead and removed our condenser, we're gonna have to take this OEM U-nut from behind the mount. Go ahead and remove that, get that out of your way. Then we're gonna take out our hard lines and AC hoses on the engine side. Cool, now that we have everything disassembled on our truck, let's go ahead and move to the table so we can install our brackets on our condenser. All right, next, this is where we're gonna be. We're gonna install our J-nuts into the 2nd, 11th, and 19th position up here, going this way. And on the bottom, we're gonna be at the 7, 8, 10, and 11. So we already installed here, so just gonna install one. Go. Next, install the upper bracket using 3 number 8 screws. And go ahead and install the lower bracket. Now these I'm gonna leave a little loose, and when we get over to the truck, I'll explain why. Alright, now that we have our brackets on our condenser, we're going to go ahead and move into doing a little bit of modification to our core support here, just to give our condenser a little bit more space. So what we're going to do is, on the 2 upper bolts on the mounting of your radiator, we're going to loosen those bolts up. And then the bottom ones, we're actually going to replace those bolts. And we're going to put a 5/16 spacer in between the radiator and the core support, just to give us a little bit more room on the bottom here. So let's get some tools and get it. Okay, now that we have our new hardware and our spacers put in, go ahead and tighten up the 2 radiator mounting bolts that we previously loosened up. Cool, now that we're done with all the hardware back there, we're gonna go ahead and grab 2 5/16 U-nuts. We're gonna go ahead and install them in the upper holes here in the core support. Cool, we're gonna go ahead and install our condenser into the vehicle. But you're gonna need 2 5/16 bolts by 1 inch and 2 5/16 washers, okay? When you drop this in, make sure this piece, the bottom bracket, goes behind this bracket here on the lower part of the core support, the grill bracket. Install your bolts. All right, now we're gonna move down to the lower bracket. What we wanna do is make sure that the opening for the bracket is in line with our lower bracket on our condenser. And go ahead and take a long screwdriver and tighten up the mounting screws. Okay, before we install our dryer, we're gonna have to put in our binary switch. So, go ahead and remove this cap. Lubricate our O-ring. Go ahead and install it on your dryer. Finished product. Let's go back to the truck. Okay, moving on to our next step. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the lower cap from the condenser. Make sure you get the rubber insert out of there. Cool. Number 6 hard line. Go ahead and lubricate the O-ring. Throw a little oil on the threads. And through this opening, go ahead and install your hard line. Okay, next, go ahead and grab your dryer mounting bracket. Go ahead and remove the mounting hardware. Okay, next, grab your dryer. Go ahead and slip it in the bracket loosely. Go ahead and put your mounting hardware back on there. Not too tight, because we got to let it slide up and down a little bit just to adjust on the number 6 hard line. Now we're going to move into the vehicle, and I'll show you how to mount it. So what we're gonna do here is, gonna remove this cap. Go ahead and make sure you lubricate the number 6 O-ring on your hard line. And we're gonna attach it loosely and get our bracket in the place where it's flat on the inside fender well. Then we're gonna use the bracket itself as a template, and using a 964 drill bit, go ahead and drill some mounting, pre-drill some mounting holes so we can use our number 10 sheet metal screw. Now that you have everything in, make sure that your dryer is not sitting on the bottom. Make sure there's about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch of space in between the dryer and the base. Go ahead and tighten the mounting hardware to the dryer. Then go back and tighten up both sides of your number 6 hard line. Make sure you use a backup wrench, and that'll be that. Next, go ahead, grab your number 8 hard line, remove the cap. Remember the little rubber insert? Get that out. Go ahead and lubricate your O-ring. A little bit there on the threads. Install this right alongside of that number 6 through the core support. Okay, make sure these are even. Go ahead and tighten that up. Make sure you use the backup wrench. Next, guys, go ahead and grab your number 4 8 clamp, your number 10 sheet metal screw. What we're gonna do is we're gonna install this over the number 8 hard line, drill a hole into the core support, and go ahead and install it. So go ahead and get your drill, 964 drill bit, pre-drill, and install. For the next step, you're gonna need number 4 8 clamp, number 2 8 clamp, and your 1032 screw where you start washing the nut. What we're gonna do is put these around the 2 hard lines here by the radiator. That'll keep it stable. So go ahead and put them on and tighten up your screw. All right, guys, you're gonna notice you have a 1/4 by half left. This is when you reassemble your hood latch assembly and your brackets. This will go into your bottom bracket on your condenser. And after that, you'll be all finished up with your condenser installation. All right, guys, so that concludes our condenser installation here on our 77 Ford truck. But before you go, I'd like to let you know that we offer a heavy-duty condenser kit with a larger capacity condenser, and it's suitable for dual AC systems. So if you have any questions about that, or you'd like to order one, get with our sales guys up front. They'll hook you up. From Vintage Air, I'm Billy. If you need any parts for your system, make sure you call our sales guys. They're very knowledgeable and can help you out. And if you have any problems with your installation, make sure you call our tech team.